What is going on, everyone? Today, I want to talk about something that you see everywhere, but nobody tells you really what it is, which is progressive overload. So, what is really progressive overload? You have to think about the expression itself. So, progressive and overload, it really means like loading progressively with time, so loading every time more. And this is because the human body is an amazing machine. It adapts to new works really fast, and this is what we want to take advantage of. We want to put it more work every single time so that your body adapts to it and it gets easier every time. This is why professional swimmers have a huge back, because they developed it with time. Why divers, they can hold their breath for longer, or why 14-year-old boys have a huge right arm. So let's get into how to achieve progressive overload. As I say, we want to work harder every time, but there's a misconception here, especially within the fitness industry. People think progressive overload just means heavier weights. And that's really not what it is. And this is what leads to plateaus. This is what leads to people getting frustrated and losing motivation. Progressive overload is not just increasing the weight. There are several other things you can do to progressive overload that will make it easier and a more constant progression. So things you can do to for progressive overload: increasing weights, for sure, we know that, but also increasing reps. That's if you do 8 and then next week you do 10, you're doing more. Form is really important. You may be thinking you're lifting 8, but you may be cheating a little bit. Let's say you're doing curls and you're like using momentum from your body to help push it. Try to stay still, and that is progressive overload, making it cheating less. Resting time is also crucial. It's really important, because let's say you're lifting 8 and then next week you're lifting 10, but you need a whole minute more between sets. Are you really progressing overloading if you need a whole more minute to do the resting? And this leads me to another topic, which is, why do we hit plateaus? A plateau is when you're progressing, and then you suddenly like stop. That's why it's called plateau. How do we avoid this? So you have to consider all those things I explained. If you're not taking into account resting times, if you're not watching your form, it's pretty easy to get stuck and get frustrated and think that you're not progressing, and then you're gonna stay there forever. That's not the case. Something I recommend myself is keeping track of your resting time. For example, I use the simple clock on my phone, and if you see me at the gym, you will see me that I always have this. Let me show you. So here I have the clock, and what I do, and it's very useful, is whenever I start a set, I click start, and then the time keeps passing, and now it's when I'm working. Imagine I'm just doing curls, and then when I finish, I click on lap. This will not only show me the resting time. Here in lap 2, you see the resting time. Now I'm resting. You see 10, 11, 12, and then it will also tell me the number of sets that I'm doing, because it's easy to forget sometimes, like, oh, have I done 3 or 4 sets already? Oh, I don't remember. This will tell you. Then imagine that I'm gonna rest 30 seconds, then now I start. Now I'm curling again, and then I finish, and then I click lap again. You see, I've done 2 laps, so 2 sets, and now I'm resting for the third. and you can see there the time. And it's pretty convenient because, as I say, it tells you the number of sets and also the resting time. And yeah, I say this is very crucial because, again, if you're doing a set and you think you're capable of lifting more weight, but then you need more resting time, you're not really progressing overloading. So resting time, keep track of it. It's very important. Things that lead to plateaus are not watching the resting time, then opening your phone after a set and then texting your friend you don't realize, and it's been like 3 minutes resting, and it's really not recommended because then your muscles start to cool down, you need to warm up again, and that's not good. More things you can do. I'm pretty sure you've seen or you've experienced in the past doing a set or looking to do something that you had planned, and then the machine is taken and you have to do it somewhere else, and then you have to waste time like figuring out what weight you should use because the machine is different. So things that make it a lot simpler are this. For example, a routine that I was doing at some point, and here you can see, I want you to look at the shoulder part. For example, look at the second exercise. I have front raises and then I have slashes. What are all these slashes mean? They mean if the machine is taken or if the thing is taken or whatever and I can't use it, I can go to a different place and do it. And I have, you can see under the name, I have 4 sets times 8 reps. And then I have the weights. I have 80, 40, 60. This means, so for example, for this one, I think it was 80, it was for an easy bar. 40 was in cable fly. So if the easy bar was taken, I would go to the cable fly, and I already knew that I was gonna pick 40 because I spent like a few seconds one day to know the weight. If both were taken, I also had this too was in a gym that I used to go that had 2 rooms. So the second one was a little smaller, but if both failed, I could always go to the second room and use 60. And I already knew that I didn't have to waste time figuring out what weight, because some machines are different. Some go with numbers, some of them go with pounds, some of them have different mechanisms and the weight is easier or harder. So this will help you a lot in your program, because tracking all those things are very important to not get stuck, because as I say, if you're not sure what you're lifting, it's pretty easy to get stuck. So yeah, simple tricks, simple tips. You have to always think that the human body is not a perfect machine, so you're not gonna constantly go up. You're gonna have your up and downs, and slowly but surely you're gonna be moving forward. And if after doing all of this you still get stuck, maybe you're not leaving your muscles enough rest. Are you leaving your muscles enough time in between every time you work out for the next workout for them to grow and to rest? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating enough calories? All of those things can lead to like not proper rest and getting stuck. So hopefully I answer some of your questions, some of the things that you may not know. As always, stay big, and I'll see you next time. Bye.